Welcome to Coach and Grow, a podcast for those navigating life transitions, professional growth, and identity shifts in a fast changing world. I'm Anetta, a coach and former corporate manager, and here we talk about emotional intelligence, self awareness, and how to grow intentionally, especially in an international or multicultural environment. If you're ready to stop running on autopilot and start leading yourself with clarity, you're in the right place. Let's begin. We live in a world that moves faster than ever. Every day brings a new tool, a new app, a new system promising to make us quicker, smarter, more efficient. Artificial intelligence is writing, it's analyzing, it's creating, and it's learning faster than we ever could. And yet, when I speak with people, professionals, managers, experts, I hear a lot about certificates, diplomas, courses completed, the next skill to tick off the list. And at some point, I ask a simple question. And where are you in all of this? And very often, there's silence, because many people live with a quiet tension. On one side, the pressure to keep up, to learn more, to stay relevant. On the other side, a growing sense of disconnection, overload, fatigue, as if we're constantly adapting to systems and tools, but slowly losing touch with ourselves. And this is where the human factor becomes essential. Knowledge is not the same as wisdom. Knowledge matters. Skills matter. Expertise matters. But knowledge is not the same as wisdom. You might have all the qualifications, but how do you use them? How do you respond when things don't go as planned? How do you manage pressure, uncertainty, and constant change? How do you communicate not just clearly, but humanly? Because these are the moments where technology reaches its limits. Technology can analyze data. It can optimize processes. It can suggest solutions. But it can't feel tension in a room. It can't sense when someone is disengaged but silent. It can't rebuild trust after a difficult conversation. It can't lead with empathy. And this is where the human factor becomes irreplaceable. Your real value is not only in what you know, it's in how you show up, how you stay calm when others are stressed, how you listen, not to respond, but to understand, how you adapt when things change again and again and again. These are the skills that build trust, that create psychological safety, that make collaboration possible. And increasingly, this is what defines leadership today. Why emotional intelligence matters more than ever. In a world driven by speed and automation, emotional intelligence is no longer a nice to have. It's essential, because emotionally intelligent people don't just react. They respond. They notice what's happening beneath the surface. They regulate themselves instead of acting on impulse. They communicate with awareness. And they take responsibility for their impact on others. And this applies whether you lead a team or simply lead yourself. Let me make this very concrete. When a situation escalates, a mistake happens, a deadline is missed, pressure rises. Emotional intelligence doesn't mean you drop the task and walk away. It means you know how to stay in the situation. You don't stand up, shut the door behind you, and disappear. You don't explode or shut down. You stay present. You stay calm under pressure. And you still get the work done. That's emotional intelligence. When emotions run high, an emotionally intelligent person doesn't scream at people when something goes wrong. They don't look for someone to blame. Instead, they pause and ask, what actually happened here? What caused this mistake? What system, process, or assumption failed? They focus on the root cause, not emotional release, because solving the problem matters more than venting frustration. Another example. Emotionally intelligent people don't send emails in the heat of the moment. They don't fire off messages they later regret. They know when to wait. They know when to speak and when not to. They understand that one emotional reaction can damage trust far more than silence ever could. Or think about feedback. Without emotional intelligence, feedback becomes criticism, personal, defensive, escalating. With emotional intelligence, feedback becomes information, clear, direct, respectful, focused on behavior and outcomes, not identity. Emotionally intelligent people don't pretend everything is fine, but they also don't dramatize situations unnecessarily. They can hold tension without spreading it. They can name issues without escalating them. They remain grounded even when others are not. And this matters more than we realize. Because in complex environments, people don't look for the smartest person in the room. They look for the most stable one. The person who can think clearly under pressure. Who doesn't add chaos to chaos. Who can hold responsibility without passing stress on to others. That is leadership. And it starts with managing yourself. Let me be very clear. This is not about rejecting technology. We need to learn. We need to adapt. We need to stay curious. But while we're learning to keep up with machines, we must not forget to stay human. Your empathy, your intuition, your presence, your courage. No algorithm can replace that. Take a moment. Ask yourself, how do I usually react under pressure? Do I regulate or do I react? What human skill do I bring into every interaction that no machine ever could? No judgment, just awareness. Underscore 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 underscore. To conclude, technology will continue to evolve. Systems will get faster. Information will multiply. But your humanity, your ability to stay present, aware, and connected, that's where your real value lies. So keep learning, keep adapting, but don't outsource your humanity. Because in a world full of technology, staying human is not a limitation. It's your greatest strength. If this episode resonated with you, subscribe to Coach and Grow for weekly conversations about emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and intentional growth. And if you want to strengthen the human skills that no technology can replace, coaching can support you in doing exactly that. Thank you for listening. This is Coach and Grow, and I'm glad you're here.